French knot is one of the basic hand embroidery stitches, but it can be tricky getting it to look just right. So let's look at how French knot works, and then we'll do some troubleshooting. So first I'm going to make just one French knot here and pull through. Now let's look at that done more slowly. I'll bring my needle and thread up. Now here I'm using a size 1 milliner's needle threaded with a size 5 pearl cotton. Milliner's needles are perfect for French knots because they're long, skinny needles with a nice thin eye that makes them easy to pull through a knot. And you can use an embroidery needle or a chenille needle too, that will work just fine. But I like a milliner's needle because it's longer and it's easier to hold on to. So I am right-handed and I hold the needle in my right hand and I wrap it with my left hand. So I like to wrap the French knot counterclockwise or away from me. And I'll wrap it over the needle twice. Then you place the needle back into the fabric very close to where you just came up. Now this is the important part of a French knot. Before you pull through, organize your knot down onto your fabric. If you try to pull through before your knot is organized onto your fabric, you'll just end up with a mess. So then you might want to just hold the knot against the fabric as you gently pull through. You don't want to make it too tight, but then you'll have a nice little French knot. It looks kind of like a little flower. Now, French knots are best done on some kind of a hands-free frame. Here I'm using a seat frame, but so that way you have both your hands to make the French knot. But suppose you need to make French knots on something that you cannot put into a frame. Okay, so here I'm making some French knots on wool, and of course you can't put your wool into a frame. So I'm using a lap frame with this padded wool mat on top of it. It's nice to use something to put your knots against, otherwise you'll be stitching into your lap and that's not very comfortable. Okay, so you're going to wrap the thread around the needle twice, put it into the fabric. Now see here, it's nice. This is where it's nice to have something in back of it that the needle can be sticking into. Then pull the fabric away and pull through. Now suppose you don't want to carry something this bulky around with you. Here's an ingenious little gadget that you can get. This is a miniature version of a wool pressing mat. This is called a drizzle pad because you can also use it for drizzle stitches, and this is available from Sue Spargo's website. So I'm going to put the drizzle pad underneath my fabric, wrap the thread around twice, pull it away from the drizzle pad, and then pull through. So now there are some French knots.